Let's go.
What is up, everybody? Saltiest Gaming, and we're back with another podcast. T.S.P. episode 33. Back in the building.
Let's go.
Up? What is up? What is up? Thank you for being here. As you guys can see, we're down 3 men. 3 men and a baby. No, we're down 3 men.
I was just thinking that. Oh my goodness.
It's a good flick, right? That's back in the day, man. That shows our age, right?
Holy crap! Wow. With the ghost in the background and everything, man.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Ooh.
Wow, they did some sequels too, but we won't get into those. Yeah, like I said, we're down 3 guys, two of which are going to see Avengers Infinity War, so I can't really hate on that because they're trying to avoid spoilers. So shout out to Punk and Fonz. And then our other guy is down. He just had surgery. Bloody Knuckles, shout out to you. Hopefully you can heal real quick. I saw him gaming, so he's doing that and helping the healing process speed up. You know, I know when I went into the surgery, got my ear worked on, the first thing I came home and did after the drugs were kind of wore off is I grabbed those sticks and got the game. And man, it gets your mind off some of the bullshit, you know, some of the pain and some other shit.
So you were gaming after the drugs wore off? That's new to me, man.
Yeah, a little bit of both, you know what I'm saying?
A little bit of column A, column B. You know what he's saying.
Yeah. I've had some of my best games of Halo. While I guess you could say not myself. We'll just put it that way.
You're in the right state of mind. I get you. I follow you.
Yeah, we've all been there. The craziest experiences is I feel like when I'm like too drunk to even almost walk, and then you pick the sticks up, man. That shit's crazy.
Dude,
altered state of gaming.
Oh, there's so many people in the community that talk about like drinking and playing games. I can never do that, man. When I drink, I'm Mr. Social. Like I like to have like the bar in one corner and the pool table in the other, and talking to different people. I can't sit there in front of the TV like as I'm drinking a lot. You know what I'm saying?
I get you. I have to have somebody in a party at least be in the party with a couple different people that are either on the same level or I'm just the only belligerent one. Just yelling into the microphone. Yeah, man. You catch me at a good one playing some Gears and. I don't know, man. It's not for the faint of heart. Not for
if you're gonna drink and play, you definitely don't want to play competitive games. I'll just say that. But it's awesome. So, what have you guys been playing this week? I've been actually playing 2K, and I'm embarrassed to say that because, like I said, the microtransaction situation in that game is ridiculous. It's basically pay to win, but I enjoy it for some reason. But it's crazy. I've been playing that a lot, and then what else? Fortnite. So that's what I've been doing. What about you guys?
Yeah. Ooh, you're like my evil twin. I've been playing 2K as well. I got my player to the All-Star game. I'm like on the verge of winning the dunk contest or whatnot. But and then I've been playing PUBG. That's the evil twin part. You've been playing Fortnite. I've been playing PUBG. Let's see what else. Split Second. I beat the game. What was it yesterday? Again.
Oh, wow.
Again.
That's a racer, right? Is that a racer? It is. Wow. Kudos to you, man.
At the end of that game, it says to be continued, and I'm wondering when is this going to be continued because
new car.
We never got a sequel. We never got a sequel.
Expansion DLC.
Yeah.
20 years later. Let's see what else. I played a little Halo with O Snaps and a bunch of people last night as well. Had a lot of fun doing that, and as usual, there's so many others that like I forget until we get halfway through the show. Then I'm like, oh yeah, I played that as well. Overwatch. I've been messing around with Overwatch. Damn, Overwatch is such a good game, man.
It is, man. It is. Overwatch is one of those games you can just go back and play, right? It just is really, really good. So no God of War for you? I didn't hear that.
No, I didn't get Daddy of War. I didn't pick that up.
Okay.
I don't know. I can't. When it comes to $60 for this new game, I know they went in a new direction, but all the gameplay I've seen so far makes me kind of miss the old God of War. Now I know I haven't had the controller in my hands yet, so I can't really say this. So this is just kind of looking at the gameplay, and it's like, damn, I like hack and slash. Like I was a big DMC, the DMC reboot. Absolutely love that game by Ninja Theory. I thought they did a great job with that. And, you know, sometimes you just need some kind of like senseless violence with a story behind it, but just senseless violence that you get rated on the combo system as you're whooping ass and stuff like that. And I don't see that with this new one. So it's not a day one for me, but then again, there's no multiplayer element, so I can play it whenever I feel like it, you know?
It's true, man. I mean, if you can avoid those spoilers, you can pick that up for a good cool $30 or $20, you know, once it drops in price. And I know all about trying to save that money. I was talking about Lil Dicky, he's a rapper, and he has a song out called "Save That Money." I love that song because it like represents me. I'm cheap as fuck. I try to
I like the Lonely Island. They got a song called YOLO. It's you ought to look out. So instead of saying YOLO, like you only live once and spend it all and stuff like that, they're telling you, no, you should shelter yourself and put your money into 401ks and invest in real estate and stuff like that. The song's hilarious, man.
That's awesome, dude.
So what about you, Native? What have you been playing?
Dude, I finished Far Cry 5 last night or 2 nights ago, and I have to tell you guys, the ending, I am not a fan of. I am not a fan of the ending. Oh, it pissed me off. I wanted more. I just wanted some I need some DLC in order to clear that up for me or something. But all in all, the game is amazing. I love the game. I love just standing in the middle of the road, just crafting and chucking those remote those remote C4 things, man, and just chucking them left and right. Everything's blowing up around me. I played a little bit of PUBG, so I feel you on that one, Xbot. Just for some reason, man, I cannot let go of PUBG. It's like another Gears for me.
Dude, I'm not even getting achievements. It's almost like it's dirty to me. Like when the game officially drops, I'm gonna have to go and get my achievements and stuff. I can just imagine like how many achievements I would have gotten already. You know?
Yeah, really, because I've done some crazy crap in that damn game, and I really want to see what kind of achievements they're gonna implement. But yeah, I've been playing a lot of PUBG, and shout out to Darth Vicious, man. We got in some games last night, and it's so hard not to yell at each other. It's so hard.
Hey, you guys both roll in that competitive crowd, you know. So you guys are crazy, man.
Yeah, no, it's definitely true, man. Anything competitive you can find me on. So just it's been a good week though. Been a really good week.
It's nice to hear that you didn't like the ending of Far Cry, because I'm right there with you. I said it in my review and got lots of shit for it, because in the gaming community, I think people just like attach themselves to certain ideas and concepts as kind of like sheep per se.
Reviews,
you know what I'm saying?
Sheeple out there,
You know, I'm not calling anybody sheep out here. You might be a sheep, you might not. You might like that, but basically the way it goes is like there's concepts and reviews that come out, and it's like the mass media grabs a hold of them, and then everybody else and their mom grabs a hold on that concept, and it's like we're not thinking for ourselves, you know.
The echo chamber mentality.
Exactly, right? So we get into that, so you talk about something counter to that, and then it's just boom 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 on social media or comment sections or whatever. Shout out to Brian Baker, thanks for being here. It's that echo chamber mentality, the hive mind mentality that I've been running into a lot when it comes to not only Far Cry, but any game that releases. It just seems like it's either you need to think that it's good, it's God's gift, or it's bad and it's shit. You know what I'm saying? You can't have your own.
This entire generation has been, dude, when we started off this generation, when people were out there and we're talking about a game, let's say Sunset Overdrive, and people were like, yeah, I just saw some new gameplay and stuff. Somebody will come up and be like, well, I don't know if it's good because I don't know the resolution. And it's like,
oh God.
What? And we've dealt with this kind of like sheeple narrative mentality all the way through this generation. Even now with God of War, people are like, well, you're supposed to love this game. You're supposed to say it's like the best ever. You were supposed to have gotten it day one. And I'm like, there's no multiplayer element. There's no DLC coming down the line that's going to like add to the story. I can play this story whenever the hell I want to. Why are you telling me I need to do something and spend my money on something that I feel I can spend it at any point in time?
Yeah, because literally I tweeted about it, and this is kind of off subject, but we'll just talk about it because it's a nice topic, you know. There's people literally, if they said something negative against God of War, they didn't give it an exact 10 they were getting blasted by fanboys all over the place, saying that they're damage controlling for Xbox, or it has to do with Xbox, or this and that. What happened to people having an opinion or a preference? I said it's a weird concept that people can have a preference that's counter to the popular belief, but that's what happens, right? We're people. We're not bees in a hive, you know. So it's just weird. You see it on social media. I see it a lot. And the same thing with Far Cry, you know. I didn't like the ending. And lots of people were saying it was the best game since sliced bread.
One thing I want to say about Far Cry, and I got to ask you guys, first off, I got to ask you guys, are you playing on the Xbox One X?
Yes.
All right.
I haven't played it yet.
Have you just walked up to a tree? Like, the textures of the bark of that tree is something I have never seen in games before. That looks realistic. Like, I was blown away by that.
Xbox, you know what's funny about that? Like the texture situation with the X, I find myself doing that in a lot of games. Like with Gears, I was with a dealer. We were running through the campaign, and we're like, "Hey, go look at this water. Look at the textures, the textures on this skeleton. Look at the light, how it reflects off. It's just weird, man. I mean, once you get those textures and you know all that like detail, it's insane. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like it gets to the point where you can almost take a exploration. It's like all these dudes on the X, they're just walking around. You know,
well, when you're gaming with dealer, you're gonna end up doing that, and you'll do that for a while.
It's funny because he said he did the same exact thing with me with that game. He's just like, dude, come here, just look at the textures. It was the first night I got my X, and he walked me through Gears of War 4, and then Darth Vicious actually walked me through PUBG. We loaded into a game, and he was just like, dude, just come here, just look at this rock. And it's like, man, I need ammo. I can't be looking at
headshots from people just staring at a rock. Yeah,
I could totally see him do that.
But no, man, the X is an amazing machine to be able to pull off those textures as well as a PC. I mean, just some of the games are just amazing. Even my wife was like, "Wait, is this a show?" When I was playing Far Cry 5, it was one of the cutscenes. She's like, "This looks like a pretty interesting show." I was like, "This is a game. You see the controller in my hand? It's a game."
So the weird thing is the console itself hasn't really hit its stride because the devs need some time with the console, and we have yet to see a first-party title that's launched with, you know, that I guess you could say Forza 7 maybe, but the more and more, the longer the console's out, the better it's going to get. So,
dude, you know what's going to look incredible? Ori 2 is going to look insane on the X, man, because it's already all hand-painted graphics and everything like that.
Oh,
if you thought the first one looked good, wait until the second one comes around, because that's going to blow your mind, dude.
Hey, it's cartoony. I don't want none of that shit.
Oh, come on. I'm out of here.
Get it out of here.
That's it. I'm out of here.
Get it out of here.
I can only imagine.
Get it out of here.
I can only imagine how Forza Horizon 4 is going to look, because 3, even 2, but 3 was absolutely mind-blowing. The way everything popped out, the colors and everything. So 4, I'm definitely looking forward to see what they can pump out with the X. So
yeah, I'm sure, man. I've seen some screenshots of the game. I for one, am not a racer player. I don't play any games that have a car in it besides PUBG. But the screenshots though that come out for that game are just amazing. I can't tell if they're, you know, one of my buddies posting it on Twitter because it's actually his car, or no, it's from the damn game. It looks so good. So
yeah,
there's a lot of things that I want to see, man.
Cars are getting photorealistic at this point. So, let's see. Invader, what have you been playing, man?
Well, I've been working away at my backlog slowly. Right now, I'm going through Wolfenstein: The New Order, which a lot of people I know have played already, but I've just been going through that game. And funny enough, you guys were talking about like just seeing like the details with the X on like older games, because I've been going through this game. I'm just noticing, I'm looking at like all the textures and everything just looks so crisp. Otherwise, what else? Oh, I've been playing through Doom again because of the recent community challenge that Stick Figure does. We do the community challenges for the arcade mode there.
Okay.
As well, I have been booting up my Switch recently to play Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. So,
awesome. Yeah, I recently got a Switch, so we'll have to exchange friend codes on there because it's a little archaic that way. You have to do it some weird fashion there. But yeah, I've been loving my Switch. I've been playing Zelda So without further ado, we're going to get into some, intros here for our guest. I know X-Spot's been here. He's a friend. He's a family of the TSP crew. But we're going to go over his background. I want to hear his background of gaming. I didn't do this the first time, and I regretted it. So we're going to do it. X-Spot 448. What is up? Thanks for being here. If you can let everybody know your gaming past, where you started and to where you are now. Yeah. Good talk. You guys there? Can you guys hear me?
Here.
All right, let's start with
there we go. There we go. I was muted, man. My bad. See, I'm a vapor. And I heard from you might know this guy, Mooch. Like when I started vaping, I would take a vape like right in the middle of the show, and I didn't realize how much it was hitting on the microphone. So I would mute it, and every once in a while I forget to unmute myself. But no, I was asking if everybody had a drink and was sitting down and all that good stuff. Because if you're going to talk about my gaming history, we're going all the way back to like first two games I ever played were Frogger and Pitfall. Those are the first two games I got addicted to. And I will say Pitfall was head and shoulders #1 in my book. Absolutely love playing that game. The first system I actually owned myself was a Nintendo Entertainment System. Rocking that original Mario like crazy. I had an older brother that was really into he was into older brother stuff, cars, airplanes, helicopters, girls, but they didn't really have a lot of games about girls, so we got into the helicopters, airplanes, and cars and stuff like that. So original Nintendo, played a lot of a game called Tiger Heli. It's like an over-the-top view looking down on your helicopter. You had the ground going from north to south, and that's how you progressed. Just shoot everything that moved, and had a lot of fun with that. Turned into a huge Sonic fan with the Genesis. My brother had the Genesis, the Sega CD, and the 32X. I had the Super Nintendo. Had a lot of fun with that as well. That whole Mortal Kombat drama was going on at that point in time. And I got to say, guys, minus the whole blood thing, the Super Nintendo version was better than the Genesis version. So I'm putting that out there right now. After that, I got my PlayStation. Believe it or not, out of all the PlayStations, except for the PS4 I have now, the only other PlayStation I ever owned was the original PS1. I never bought a 2 and I never bought a 3. And the reason why is because when all that was going on, PS2, PS3, all that good stuff, I had a Dreamcast and I had an original Xbox. And with those systems, I didn't feel like I needed a PlayStation. So my friends had PlayStations. I was able to play like Grand Theft Auto on the PS2 at my boy John's house and stuff like that. And when it came down to it for this generation, I was day one Xbox One. I was working at GameStop. I got it, that night. I worked till midnight, went home with my Xbox One with the Kinect that I absolutely loved. I can't believe that they're not doing anything with that sucker anymore. But later on got a PS4 and just been gaming hardcore for like ever, man, ever.
Yeah, that's cool. So you're kind of with me with the I actually never owned a PlayStation, so you at least owned the first one, so that's good, man. It's good to hear your history. It sounds like a storied one for sure. I think it's interesting to hear people's backgrounds, in the community, because like we all like play Xbox or PlayStation or whatever, but we all had a background, it's something previous that people don't really know, and maybe some other people had similar backgrounds and maybe could talk about it later on Twitter or something else,
I gotta say, the first time I ever played Halo, I was at my cousin Paul's house. He got his original Xbox before me, and he just handed me the controller. He was like, "No, you just got to play this." Like, yeah. Dude, my jaw dropped. It was a family get together, big Italian family. Went over to my aunt's house. My cousin had me playing this game. No lie, for 6 hours straight, I did not leave his room. Nobody knew I was there. And my jaw was on the floor for that entire 6 hours. I was hooked. And to this day, Halo is like my #1 game. Absolutely love that franchise.
Well, that's good because we have a Halo conversation that's going to be later in the episode. So I'm glad you're here. You'll be the expert here, and then we'll talk about some of the stuff that's making people salty. So I appreciate you being here. Our other guest, Invader, man, I'm glad you're here. I was talking to Invader pregame, and I said his voice sounds like he belongs on a radio station. I think you guys would agree because it just sounds really clear and something that would belong on a radio station. So I appreciate you being here. What's your background when it comes to gaming? How'd you get into the community, all that good stuff?
Oh boy. Let's see. Well, first, you know what? It probably started off with playing on my buddy's ColecoVision back in the day.
ColecoVision. Okay.
Yeah, the ColecoVision. I know that goes pretty far back. Just playing. I can't even remember what we were playing, but it really got me fired up about gaming. And then soon after that, I got invested in the original Nintendo Entertainment System. So of course, I was hooked on the Marios and like all other kinds of games. After that, I got the Super Nintendo, which I think really started my genuine love of gaming, because we saw all kinds of different platforming games, all kinds of different that's where my love, one of my favorite games ever, Star Fox, came. What else? Jumping forward to the N64, we got games like Banjo-Kazooie. Rare had I'm a huge Rare fan, and some of Rare's best games came out on the N64. What else? I wasn't really huge on PlayStation, but I did have a PlayStation 2. I really enjoyed Killzone. I know it was a bit of like a clone of Halo, but I still enjoyed it to this day. And Ratchet and Clank too. Ratchet and Clank, I really, really enjoyed. But then, I got out of gaming. Okay. I don't know, I wasn't really into it. And then what drew me back in was Halo. I saw commercials for Halo, and more specifically Halo 2 when it was like gearing up for launch. It just seemed like this really, really big worldwide event, and I had to play it as soon as I saw the ads for it. I'm like, I gotta try the system. I gotta rent it. I didn't even own it, but I went to Blockbuster and I rented the system and the game, and I played through the campaign the entire weekend. In fact, I played through the campaign a couple of times, and I loved it. I absolutely loved it. And then that following Christmas, I actually got an Xbox and got Crimson Skies, Fable, and after that, Mech Assault. And I grew to love all these different games. What else? I dabbled with the GameCube a bit. I played a bit of my friend's GameCube. I really enjoyed games like Luigi's Mansion, Super Mario Sunshine, Paper Mario. And yeah, I gradually made it to the 360. And I played all kinds of games on that. I played games from like Crackdown, of course, Halo, Gears, all that. And and then of course made my way to the Xbox One. And I don't know, I've been loving my experience on it ever since, as well as I recently picked up a Switch, and I've been getting used to it. It's certainly a different experience. But
okay, so you're not really. Do you think you might sell your Switch?
It's not. No. I'm just getting used to it.
We already did. Okay.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of people that bought the Switch and then sold it. So
well, Metroid's not out yet, so there was no like the other games. The Mario looks sweet, everything like that. I go by the Don's rule of 3, right? when it comes to hardware, there's got to be 3 games that you absolutely got to play. All right. We have Zelda, Breath of the Wild. We have that on the Wii U. There's not too much of a difference. I don't need to take it on the go with me. So we have the Wii U still. We play that there. Mario would be one of those 3. Metroid, I think Metroid, when it comes down to it, you got Smash Brothers, you got Mario. Metroid would be that 3rd one for me. So until that comes out, that's probably when I'll get a Switch again.
You know what? I just missed playing Mario, to be honest with you. I wasn't huge on the Wii. Wii U didn't interest me, but Mario Odyssey just caught my attention, and I was like, you know what? I gotta go for it. And then I know Metroid Prime's in the works, and I don't know, just there's a few other things that catch my eye. So I was like, okay, I'll invest in it. Why not? Give it a shot. Give Nintendo another go.
Nice.
Well, thanks for being here. Thanks for being here with both of you guys. So we'll get into the first topic of the night. It's kind of weird. I had some late, breaking news in the feed that I just read, and it kind of goes counteractive to what the first thing is going to be. So Sea of Thieves, the sales numbers came out, and it's the fastest selling rare title ever.
Yes,
if you look at NPD, it's up there in the, I think it was second place or whatever. So we're seeing, great returns when it comes to this game. And I know Xbot, you've talked a lot about Sea of Thieves and, how you felt about it and was in the positive sides. There's been a lot of negativity when it came to the game and the lack of content, but, proof's in the pudding. It's the fastest selling IP, and this doesn't include Game Pass numbers. So let's talk about this first. So it's a game as a service, and it has room to grow. Do you think Rare did it the right way, or they could have improved this? Do you see this game improving and gaining numbers and tractions like Rainbow Six Siege, or do you think it's going to fall off? Because I have a number that I came across, and I'll just throw it out there right now. The story that I found, it says that Sea of Thieves lost half of its players when the Xbox Game Pass free trial expired. So that's kind of telling. It's a huge thing to know that, because people have been asking. It's like, what are the concurrent numbers right now with Sea of Thieves? Like, what's going on after people's trial expires? Chat, are you still playing Sea of Thieves? If you are, push 1 for yes, 2 for no. So Xbot, let's talk about this. What's going on with Sea of Thieves? Is it a huge success and it's going to continue to be a huge success, or is it this doom and gloom? What's going on with this title?
The D&G phrase, doom and gloom. Man, we've heard that a lot the past couple of weeks. Now, you asked if Rare could have done anything better, and when you look in hindsight is 2020, man. You can always look back and be like, they should have done this, they should have done that, or whatnot. But what they put down was a good infrastructure to a game as a service, and it's only going to get better. In May we're going to get more content. We're going to get another. I think we're going to get another sea monster. They just call it AI or whatever, but it's something that crews actually, you can't really take it on one ship. Like, you would actually have to work together with another ship on the map. So that's something different. That's something I'm looking forward to. And at the end of the day, all they're going to do is build on this foundation. So it is really good to see that when it comes to sales, that this is the fastest selling Rare IP. I believe it was number 2 on that list that everybody loves to use, that NPD. So that's not even active users there. That's people taking out their money from their wallet and being like, you know what? I need Sea of Thieves. So for them to be number 2 on that list of people spending their money to get it, that's awesome right there. That shows that there's a lot of people who have that game. Of course, there's going to be what they, gaming freeloaders or people who want to try it and for some rhyme or reason, they're not going to put down, any more money for the free trial or anything like that, and you're going to see a fall off. Half of the populace, that sounds like a really big number, but you got to point to the number of people who bought the game. It's only going to get better. It's one of those games that even if people kind of take a break from, when they go back, there's going to be new stuff, new things to do, and it's just going to hook them right back into what they were doing. I think this game is going to be around for a long time, and it's definitely going to be supported. So I am all on board for Sea of Thieves, man.
Okay. Because, there's lots of different parties, there's lots of people that are saying, hey, it took 4 years to get this game out, and we saw what we got with the content. They're saying the Kraken's lacking and all this stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Yo, Salty, if I can, Noof in the chat, he said they spent 3 years on water tech, and that is not actually true. What they spent so long doing was they created a new way to actually develop this game. So this way, when it came to adding on content, they can add on a lot more content in a lot shorter amount of time. So they spend a lot of time on actually how they were developing this game. So there's a lot of people out there like, oh, why did they take 3-4 years and all they did was pretty watered? No, they did a lot more in also pushing forward the way games can be developed and the way content can be added to those games in a quicker amount of time and a lot more content. That's what a lot of it was.
So what you're saying is to put this in a picture, they basically came out, gave us an infrastructure. Let's use a cardboard box. They came out, gave us this giant cardboard box, and they put a couple things in there and said, well, look, this is what we spent 3 years working on, is building the walls of this thing so that way we can fill it with shit later. Is that where you're coming from? Because I don't know if that's a model that I really want to be a part of.
Good night, guys. My bad. The twins were going to sleep. Now, see, I think at the end of the day, they wanted to put more stuff in. All right. And possibly that stuff wasn't necessarily ready yet. You know, like I said, hindsight 2020, you know, you could look back at it and been like, well, they could have done this, they could have done that. But they shared their roadmap with this thing. All right. And if you're not excited about this roadmap, then guess what? Maybe the game's not for you. And that's okay. There is no game out there that is made for absolutely everybody. I'm just saying that when it comes down to it, I'm excited to see what they're going to keep bringing to the table with these content drops. I do love the fact that they're on the underside of things, the developer side, they are trying new ways to actually develop games. So this way they could put more content in at a smaller size and a lot quicker as well. Because, you know, moving into the future, we're going to have a lot of games as services, and hopefully people can look back at Rare and be like, all right, that's the way we want to do it. And we can get the most stuff out there to the gamer as fast as possible.
Mm-hmm. So Invader, did you play Sea of Thieves, and what are your thoughts on these two news stories? Because it's like almost yin and yang, you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, well, yeah, I've played Sea of Thieves. I own it. I pre-ordered it back in like July. I was really excited for it. I'm a huge Rare fan, going back, you know, who knows how long now. Yeah, I mean, I knew what kind of a game it was back in like the alpha and the beta.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah. And I know it's interesting. Like, I mean, it's really good to see that it sold well, you know, #2 on NDP for the month of March. That is pretty impressive. I mean, when you look at the games that they have in their portfolio, like GoldenEye, Diddy Kong Racing, Perfect Dark, just to name a few, and Sea of Thieves is doing that well. Like, that's impressive. To see the player base just kind of die off like that pretty quickly. It's interesting. I don't think it's a cause for concern just yet. I think that's more maybe a few months down the road after like more content releases have been released. But we'll see. Well, I still think we have to take a we'll see approach to this game, because it's a unique kind of game. They're going to be constantly adding stuff to it, and it's an experiment by Microsoft, really.
Yeah, I don't know. I love the game, the concept and stuff like that, but there's no denying that it has a lack of content. You know what I'm saying? You can talk to people and they can have fun playing the game. There's no denying that you can make your fun doing just about anything. The thing that's curious to me is the game took, you know, 4 years to develop, and it's just like it took all this time to make what we got as in the base game, right? The quest and the Kraken that only is tentacles or whatever. It took that long to make that, and one type of enemy like the skeletons. There's a little bit of variation there, but just, you know, that's what we got. Exactly. But then they have a content map that's mapped out for almost a year, and it's, you know, it seems to be a lot of content. It almost feels to me like they cut out content and they planned on this games as a service. And that's why the main game had so little to offer, because either they didn't have enough to offer it down the line, or they just wanted to feel like they were updating it continuously, like Destiny, because Destiny got slammed for not having updates and content and a roadmap. So what do you guys think about that? Because it feels a little bit too convenient that, hey, we have all this content lined up down the road and all these new enemies and all these quests and stuff like that, but yet when we launched the full game, it's kind of lacking. What do you guys think?
Let me just say that when it comes to Rare, if it was any other development team or any other team that was known for being shady with their gamers, then I would be in your boat, Salty. But okay. when it comes to Rare, first off, I know Craig Duncan, all right, and the guy is a stand-up guy, and anybody I've talked to at Rare, incredible people over there, and I think there's an amount of integrity over there. If there was more to this game before launch and they took it out because of performance issues, and they'll put it in DLC at a later time just to make sure everything performs well. I don't think they would like intentionally take stuff out just to make it DLC in the future, or just to drop the content later on and say, hey, look, here's something else that's new or whatnot. They were planning on this game being a game as a service, and if there was more to it, pre-launch, the only reason why they took it out, in my opinion, would be performance issues or something like that, man.
Makes sense. Native, do you have any thoughts before we move on?
Honestly, it does come off as sketchy for them to come out with a roadmap so quickly. I mean, it didn't take too long for them to say, oh, this is our roadmap. This is all the content we're going to release in the coming year or coming 2 years. And for me, it's just sketchy to okay, let me preface this. I did not spend $60 to buy the game. I subscribed to Game Pass, so it's $10 a month, and I downloaded it day one, and I've been playing it since the alpha. And for the amount of change that I got from the alpha to now, it is a considerable amount, but it's just not enough for me to think otherwise of, hey, that's sketchy. Because of everything that they talked about, being at E3 last year, talking to multiple people from that worked at Rare, that were there, that were telling me about the game, about things that they were hoping on implementing. It seemed so, I was hyped. I was when I demoed it there. It was such a good feeling playing it. To coming now when I jump in, if I jump in, it's only because Salty or 2 other people that I know on my friends list are spamming me with invites. Otherwise, it's just something that I can't get into because I'm thinking of it as just this sketchy game. I love Rare. I want this game to succeed, but the lack of content where it's at right now, I do think that there's something just a little sketchy behind it, to where they were going to take out a bunch of content and then provide me with a roadmap saying, "Oh, this is what we're going to do." I just hope that everything that they release is free and it's enough to drive everybody that left back into it. So I want it to succeed.
I just want to preface that I let my Game Pass subscription expire because, I got it for Sea of Thieves. It didn't have enough content for me. But around the corner, State of Decay 2 is coming out, and I'm debating whether or not I want to buy the full copy of that, which I might do that. I want to go over the list of Game Pass editions, and I want to, get from you guys if you feel like this is enough that they're going in the right direction for the Netflix of gaming. Okay, so they have the Escapist. They're adding Homefront: The Revolution, which was garbage when it first came out, but I heard it's gotten better. Overcooked. Jez Gordon on Twitter said that's a really good party game.
I love Overcooked. Yeah, that game is a blast.
That's good.
So then,
that game is so fun to watch.
PES 2018. I thought that was POS when I first saw it. Sonic and Knuckles, and then Unmechanical Extended, and then Laser League, and then State of Decay. So overall, when I'm looking at May as an offering, as they want to be this Netflix of gaming, and I understand it's going to take them time. This doesn't do it for me. I want to be honest to you guys. State of Decay is the heavy hitter, and I understand that they're relying on that and saying a lot of people are going to want to buy Game Pass to play that game, and that's fine. But you got to have 1 to 2 to 3 offerings that are bangers in your Netflix of gaming subscription.
You got to have them every month. You got to have 1, 2, or 3 every single month from now throughout the entire life of Game Pass.
All right, so Xbot, let me talk. Not let me talk, but just so Netflix, it started off right. It was completely different to what it is now. But if you look at what they're doing, they're like one of the highest grossing entertainment companies in the world, right? If you look at their first first party studios, when it comes to television and even movies, they're investing, you know, tons and tons of movies now, and then TV. The content that they're getting out, it's not just one show or two shows or three shows. It's a lot of shows, man. Like their content, their first party content with TV, tons of shows. I think it's in the hundreds now. So the content needs to be there for me. For me personally, I don't feel like this is enough on a monthly offering. Like you have your first party game. Like I said, State of Decay 2 is a banger. It is nice to have that there, but all this other stuff, it doesn't do it for me. What about you guys? What do you guys say about this list? Am I off base here? Xbot, what do you think?
Well, see, what I'm looking at it as a whole. I'm looking at it as a subscription service. So when I see games coming out, you know, in May, I want to see them add to what they have. And in my opinion, because we already have Tomb Raider, we already have Halo, Gears, we got Ninja Gaiden, we got a whole plethora of games already. And to see what they're adding to it, of course, State of Decay is that gem that's in the May lineup. But if you look at it, I think it's really important to get a sports game. How many sports people out there now, regardless of what this title is, how many people who play sports complain that every single year they have to get another $60 title? Now with Pro Evolution, if this is true, if they come like every year to Game Pass, then you're spending $10 a month for over 160 plus games and a sports game that you play. To me, that's huge for them. And now what you said about Netflix and all their first party TV shows and movies that they're making, they had to get there though. They had to build up to get there. You know, they didn't just do it overnight, man. So when it comes down to it, I look at this as a great kind of like a birth of a gaming Netflix. And it's going to take a while. You know, they're going to have to make more first party development teams. They're going to have to, you know, develop under their own umbrella a lot more, and I think they're going to do that, man. And I think we're going to see that moving from this year, you know, into the next generation Xbox. I think they're going to really go all in on Game Pass, man.
I think it's interesting because I mean, Game Pass, it's been around for I don't know, roughly a year now.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, it has some pretty decent offerings. I mean, you listed Rise of the Tomb Raider. I'm pretty sure Halo 5 Guardians is in there and a few other games.
Halo's in there. That's all you need to know, man.
Well, yeah, I mean, I don't know offhand like all the titles that are in there, but I'm pretty sure the Metacritic on a bunch of those games, I'm pretty sure there's a bunch in like the 80 pluses, right?
Oh yeah, I imagine. And they got my DMC reboot in Game Pass as well.
Awesome, man. I beat that. I love that game.
Dude, I'll beat that numerous times.
There's a lot of people that hate on that game, Xbot, but I love it, dude. I think it's amazing, you know.
But you know what I'm trying to say is, for a service that's been here for like a year, I mean, they have a pretty good lineup. I mean, okay, not every month is going to impress you, but they still have some pretty decent offerings each month. And just to add on to what Xbot was saying about, you know, it did take Netflix a while, a while to get to where they are, to build up to this point where they have so many shows. I think we still need to give Microsoft a little bit more time to like really get the gears going for the Game Pass, but they are trying. There are definitely instances now where you can say, oh yes, you know, they're definitely adding content there. It's just, it's going to take a little bit more time. As far as what's coming in May, if State of Decay doesn't do it to you, Homefront, you know what, I've played through Homefront recently, past couple months. It got better. It got a little bit better. It's still glitchy a bit, but it did get better.
I love hearing people talk about Homefront, man. It's so funny.
I liked it. I'll totally admit it. I kind of liked it.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you. I wanted to ask you, Homefront. Should I treat that like The Division, as far as it was very rough when it came out, and as over time it got better? Should I treat it that same way, or should I just look at Homefront as you're a piece of shit that lightly got less shitty?
Probably. You know what? I would go back to it and see how bad it was. I didn't have it at launch, so I can't say. I mean,
it's horrible. Oh my god.
No, I've seen the videos. It's bad, and I did encounter a few like rough patches myself, but I don't know. It's a pretty serviceable game. I enjoyed it. So,
the funny thing about game preferences is it's all subjective. I could think, Homefront's a dog shit game, and you could love it, man. It could be your favorite game of all time. So, Native, I want to get your thoughts on this. What do you think, man, about this whole Netflix of gaming situation? Do you want more, or you think it's just going to take time?
As a gamer, of course I want more. As somebody who loves, bundled packages like things like Netflix and Game Pass, of course I want more. But I wanted to go back to something that Xbot had touched on, which is that Netflix took time to get to where they're at right now. I think, Invader, you said that Game Pass has been out for a year now. Well, if it's been out for a year now and they're already coming up, because you look at Sea of Thieves, you look at State of Decay 2, they're already implementing those things like Netflix does with its own shows. So they're already doing that a year in. And yes, Sea of Thieves is rough. Yes, it's getting a lot of flack right now. Because of Sea of Thieves' performance, I'm looking at State of Decay kind of with a crooked eye, because it's like, are you going to follow that same path? I hope not. But you never know. I don't know. And I would hate for it to go down that route. So I do wish that there was a little bit more in there. And I do wish that some of these original Xbox games did go to Game Pass, because
thank you.
It should have went there. And I think majority of the backwards compatible games should be going to Game Pass, because it just makes the most sense for me. I'm not gonna spend $45 to $60 on older games right out the gate, right when they come out. I've seen a lot of people do it, but
Native,
kudos to them.
What? It's all about the money, right? Have you seen the way that they are packaging the 360 games now? They make it look like
from the past.
No, they have how the Xbox One games are like a dark green or whatever.
Oh, I've seen them, yeah.
And the 360 games were like this bright green color. Now they have the Xbox 360 games. It says Xbox One, whatever, 360 game, and it's the same color as the Xbox One games, dude. So you're gonna have some dumbasses going in there and be like, "Oh shit, Red Dead Redemption's only $20. That's a steal. It's an Xbox One game." You know what I'm saying? Like, the casuals are going to go in there and think it's an Xbox One game.
No, it's definitely true.
That's smart if you think about it. Like, it's not a secret that they're implementing. So it's a consumer friendly thing, right? If you have your discs, you can pop them in and play some Xbox games, the originals. But who the fuck? In general, if you have your games, that's fine. But a lot of people lose their games. They sell them. They're not, you can't predict the future, like, and have a DeLorean and be like, hey, older Saltiest Gaming, save all your shit because you're going to be able to play it for free. No, I sold all my shit like a normal consumer, and I'm going to have to buy it over again because these Xbox original games are costing some good money, man.
They're like $30. I went to a store. They're like $30. I was like, hell no.
Yeah, man. I'm not doing that. And it's funny because it is consumer friendly. If you're in the know,
if you have it,
if you're in the know, it's incredibly consumer friendly. But if you're just coming in and you go into GameStop or Best Buy and you're seeing these games, you're like, oh man, $20, I could buy this Xbox One X and buy these great games for $20, $15. Oh man, that's a steal. But yeah, you go on eBay and you look at some old posts that just died out and you see that game for $3, and it's consumer friendly if you're in the know. If not, then
Native, you read my mind. I was actually going to make a video about that, wondering why in the hell games like Panzer Dragoon and stuff like that, they're not in Game Pass the day that they make them backwards compatible. If you're going to flesh out the library, if you're going to vary the portfolio, what better way than to bring games that were out on the OG Xbox that we just really don't see anymore? Of course, there was Crimson Dragon the beginning of this generation, but people who played Crimson Dragon, all it did was make them think, damn, Panzer was just that damn good.
Exactly.
It's true. Like, if you want to renew interest, in those titles, like in your backlog, then definitely flesh them out and bring them to the Game Pass. I'm totally 100% with that.
So yeah, you look at these Xbox One original backwards compatible titles. It's a money grab. Honestly, it is what it is. We just got to call it what it is, because the majority of the consumers won't have their discs. I would say like 95% of them. So yeah, I would love to see them in Game Pass. Hell, even Games with Gold, throw a title in there every now and again, because it's only 360 and Xbox One titles. I mean, toss us a bone every now and again. I think on eBay I saw some KOTOR games going for like hundreds of dollars.
Oh, dude, I seen KOTOR 1 in a brand new case. I mean, a brand new case, right? Or looked brand new anyway. That thing was selling for $450.
Yeah, like honestly, because there's gaming collectors out there that like to collect the box art. It's kind of like art for them, and it is art, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But at the same time, when you see these announcements for these backwards compatible titles that they're coming out, it's like these these stores and online people are just licking their lips and
vultures.
Oh, we're gonna fucking raise the prices on these dumbasses. You know what I'm saying? Like it sucks, because it's these titles are how old? You know what I'm saying? And we're having to pay $30 for original Xbox titles. It's crazy to me. You know
what I just want to say this. What would make me feel much more comfortable dropping $15 on each of these OG Xbox One games is an executive or somebody over at Microsoft coming out and saying, look, this is what we have to go through in order to get these amazing old school games back to you. These are the steps that we have to go through. This is how much money we're dropping into these things. If they were to show me that, if they were to come out and tell me that, and I was able to see, holy crap, these guys are going through so much work just to bring back this game from the dead, just to revive this game and bring it back to life on this new Xbox. I mean, just they look beautiful. They look amazing. They, from what I hear, the performances are great. And, if they were to show me that, I would be much more comfortable saying, you know what, Microsoft, here is $15 for that game, because I appreciate what the hell you're doing. But the fact that they don't, and they just drop it on you like, oh, look at this old game. Here you go. It bugs me. It bothers me. I might be the only one, but it bothers the shit out of me.
Yeah, so I asked the chat, I'll ask it again over the voice. Who was lucky enough to keep their original Xbox games that are coming out, man? There's like so many games I want to pick up, and they actually came out, I think, today, man. Like the OG Star Wars titles. I'm a big Star Wars fan, and I want to buy every one of those games, but damn, I'm broke as fuck, and I'm cheap as fuck, and it's a bad combination,
I'm still hanging on to my Republic Commando.
If you put your money in on that Game Pass, you don't have to think about spending the $30 or whatnot on State of Decay 2, and you have a couple extra bucks there.
The salesman X bot over here. I'll have to think about it.
I have 2 words. I have 3 words, actually. 3 words that would cure this issue: digital trade-ins.
Digital trade-ins.
That would be that.
You're not gonna see that until next gen, man.
It bothers me, but yes, it's true. That's probably true.
Guys, think about this. My boy Crap said when it comes to this generation, and my phone just went off. When it comes to this generation, this E3 is quite possibly the last E3 where we're talking solely about this generation. 2019, we're going to be talking about the next generation consoles and stuff like that. Yep. So, I don't think they're really going to push. I don't think they're holding back stuff. I think they're still at Xbox. They're still going to release games. They still have their timetable, but this is pretty much it. This E3, we're talking about this generation, and then next year we're going to be talking about, the next Xbox, the next PlayStation, the games coming out for those. And it's going to be interesting to see there, because, Xbox, we're talking forwards and backwards compatible. So it's about to get crazy, man.
It should be interesting. While we're on the topic, let's talk about Games with Gold real quick, and then we'll go on to another topic. I just want to know what you guys think of the offerings. So I did a video on this. The offerings for this month, we're going to get Mega Baseball 2. It looks fun to me. The big one, we're getting the Phantom Pain. I think that is huge. It got a 10 out of 10 on IGN. We're getting Streets of Rage, which is a Sega collection. One of the things that I've noticed in games with gold and even with Game Pass is there's a lot of Sega titles. You know, back in the news, Xbox was getting together with Sega. I wonder if this was kind of involved or some other things, because we got Vanquish as well. That's a Sega title. I'm seeing a lot of Sega titles offered. What do you guys think of these offerings? I'm personally not a stealth guy, so the Phantom Pain doesn't really do it for me. But when it comes to the quality of games offered, even last month and this month, they're stepping it up when it comes to Microsoft. But again, it's subjective. So what do I know? You know, what do you guys think?
Well, I think it's a pretty diverse lineup. You know, you got a sports game, you got a retro game, and then you got Phantom Pain, and then the shooter in Vanquish. And I don't know, I'll admit I'm not like huge on baseball or anything like that. That's my preference. But the Phantom Pain definitely, and Vanquish. I always wanted to play Vanquish, and yeah, I'm just I think it's a pretty decent month. I really do.
The whole thing about you know, the Phantom Pain, it's a big AAA game. You know what I'm saying? Like in the past, when we talked about these lineups for games with gold, we said, hey, it's lacking that, you know, that big AAA game. The last couple of months, and especially this month, to put a critically acclaimed game in there, a game that's receiving 10s, and it's not even that old. I think that's the reason why we're seeing a good value in this month's games with gold. But again, it's subjective. So Xbot, what do you think, man?
I mean, to me, it's decent. I've never been the person that's like, man, where's that home run hit? Even at points in time when it came to games with gold, where like I thought it was trash. As long as there was a variety there, as long as there was different game types, I kind of like exactly what Invader said. There's a variation out there, and I think it's got something that at least, you know, most people will get into. It's good to see that people are looking forward to Vanquish, because when that first came out on the 360, that was so low under the radar. Yep. Like I don't even know how, if it sold well on the 360, but now looking back at it, you know, it's like, I guess it's like fine wine. Over time, people actually appreciate a game. So it's good to see people getting excited about that 360 title. Actually, out of all those games, Streets of Rage for me, man. That's going to be future next podcast gameplay. You know,
okay.
That's where I'm going with that. But I mean, it's a good offering. You know, not a lot of people that I've seen like that cartoony baseball game, but I want to give it a shot.
Hey, if you want to challenge me, like, we can do that, man. It looks fun. I heard there's online there. We can get at it. You know, play some baseball.
Nice. Well, first, actually, you got to renew your Game Pass, because I want you to join. I want you to join the live stream with
Shots fired
on Overcooked. I want to see if we could work together on Overcooked.
Okay. Man, the salesman is real. I feel like I almost got to get my debit card out. Somebody hire this guy.
It's like I've done this for a while, man. I don't know. It's weird.
So real quick, Native, what do you think of the offering? Vanquish, real quick, it wasn't real well received, but man, it kind of is aged really well. I think the campaign was short and had some other shortcomings, but damn, it's free, right? Native, what do you think, man?
I think Vanquish is one of those games that when it released, people were kind of afraid to say, I like this game. So now that we're past that point, now everything is backwards compatible. People are praising all these older games. Now people are like, oh, Vanquish is amazing. So there's that. I want to play it. That was one of the games that I would pass by, like Blockbuster and stuff, and just hard stare at as I'm walking by it, and never committed to it. So I'm going to definitely pick that one up and play the hell out of that. Metal Gear Phantom Pain. I played that for about 15 hours. I think I put 15 to 20 hours into it. And that's a fun game, but if it's rough by yourself. You know me, Salty, when it comes to single player games, 7.5 out of 10, I'm not gonna finish it.
It got a 10 like 4 years ago, man. Let's be real.
Yeah. It's ridiculous, because I start these single player games and they're AAA and they're amazing, and Phantom Pain had a lot of really cool mechanics and elements to it, and the damn horse was insane. But I just couldn't bring myself to finish it. I don't know what it was. Maybe just some other, competitive game came out at the time. I don't know. But I'm looking forward to getting back into it, especially since it's free. We'll get down on some baseball. I can't stand the damn game, but we'll play
it's fun to shoot the shit on that type of game, you know, man.
Yeah. You know what? I'm not bring back Blitz. Just bring back NFL Blitz.
Baby. Yes, yes.
The only sports game I know.
All right. All right. Well, I guess, you know, we beat the dead horse there. So we'll move on to the next topic. I think it was interesting. I shared this on Twitter because if you talk to a lot of fanboys on the other side of the coin, they would tell you that Microsoft is struggling. They have no games. They have no exclusives. They're borderline bankrupt. They're borderline closing the doors. They're going to get out of the gaming business. But NPD was released, and it was interesting to see what's going on. So in the quarter that ended, March 31st, the Xbox division brought in $2.251 billion, and that's up 18% over the year when you compare it to last year at $1.906 billion. And if you look in terms of Xbox Live membership, they've gone from 52 million a year ago up to 59 million. If you talk to a lot of analysts, they believe that a lot of the Xbox Live increase is due to Fortnite and its popularity. Obviously, you need to have Xbox Live membership to play that.
Oh, definitely. It's got to be Fortnite. It can't be PUBG and 5 million people that bought that game.
Yeah, it had nothing to do with PUBG.
No,
the SOT is real. The SOT is real.
Let's get back. Let's get past the money because we're not stockholders. Okay, I'm not getting caught up in the money. The reason why I bring this up is because, like I said, there's a misconception out there that just because Xbox has struggled last year, with the amounts of exclusives, we had some delays, some cancellations. There's a misconception out there that Xbox is ready to get out the game. They're struggling, and that could be anywhere near. It's not even the truth, right? It's not even close to it. The question that I ask you guys, a lot of people say, exclusives matters, especially since God of War came out, in order to sell consoles and be successful, exclusive matters. Well, 2017 was arguably the worst year for this generation when it came to console exclusives for Xbox. But when you look at this data, the money goes up and the users go up. So what is happening here? What is the real story? Let's start off with Xbox. What do you think, man? What do you think of these numbers and everything else?
Just one letter for you, and that's X. I mean, that's pretty much much what it is. You got that system running for what, $500, right? So you're going to see a boost. There's people out there that are buying the Xbox One X. People who previously had the Xbox One or even the S have upgraded to the X. One thing I can say here is all these people that talk doom and gloom. All right, you have the new hardware coming out and showing a boost in profit like that. You have a Game Pass service that is now really like catching its stride. It's getting the exclusives day and date and stuff like that. What do you think next year is going to look like?
Exactly.
So when it comes down to it, why would Microsoft even think about cutting Xbox off? Why would they throw that division in the dumpster? Because if anything, it's building a momentum now. Now, I know a lot of people out there on social media say no games and this and that, and where's the God of War on Xbox? But we got to remember, I love the gaming community that I am a part of, and on Twitter as well. But it's only a small section of the actual full gaming community, and I don't feel that the entire gaming community is talking like this. So once Xbox really catches its stride, Forza Horizon, when that comes out, that's going to be insane, man. I can almost guarantee it. So if they do the aftermarket parts and stuff like I would think they would do for being in Japan, that's going to be a hit. And then just moving forward, when we see E3 and they talk about Fable coming back at the end of the E3, presentation and stuff like that, people are going to see that there's a future with Xbox, and they're already making money now. Can you imagine what happens once they get through all this stigma?
So, yeah, I want to piggyback off of that, Xbox, because the reason there's some people in the chat saying we just want games. Who cares about the money? It's not about the money. What I'm trying to tell you is Xbox has been struggling this gen. Okay. PlayStation's been kicking its ass when it comes to console sales. And I know you mentioned the X when it came to sales, but in reality, they're not making money off the hardware. So where's the money coming from is what I want to know. Well, it's coming from active users and Xbox Live memberships and Game Pass and all this other stuff. So what I'm trying to say is Xbox has made it clear that the hardware is out now and they're making a focus on the games. So the games will come. So if you see where they're at and where they track, if they can even bring out a couple of new IPs and then have the established franchises, where are we going to see these, you know, the Xbox Live memberships in a year, or 2 years? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's tracking upward if you look at it from the outside looking in, right? So we've had some, you know what I'm saying?
I just want to say real quick, I don't like talking about other people's money, because at the end of the day, like my brother Next Gen says, you know, your money don't make me shit, right? But if we're talking about the future of a platform that's owned by a corporation, guess what, guys? It's got to make money. All right. If it doesn't make money, if you love Xbox, you love the platform, you do want to see it making a profit. So this way it keeps going. And what I'm saying is, through all this quote unquote doom and gloom and how Xbox doesn't have games and all this good stuff, this platform is making money.
So Chris Jones, he's saying 17 years, games are coming now. Come on, man.
17 years?
What are you talking about, bro? We had the 360. We had, you know, games in the beginning of the generation of Xbox One.
They've had quite a few IPs.
You know what I'm saying? It's just, it's subjective about quality. We're not saying that, you know, PlayStation hasn't done better, but what the point is, okay, get past the money. If you are invested in the platform, you pay money for Xbox Live, you play on the platform, you want to know that the business is healthy. And when people on the other side are saying it's not, you know, people can buy into that and say, well, fuck, Xbox is doing shitty. They have no games. They're about to fold. I'm piecing out. You know what I'm saying? But this shows the other side of the coin. And what I'm trying to say is, if they kill it at E3, in the downtimes, this is the downtimes, okay, according to a lot of people, but the downtimes are still making a shit ton of money. So the good times, what are those going to be? That's what I'm saying. Like, exactly. That's the point that I'm trying to say.
You know what's funny, Salty? If Xbox doesn't have any games, like, and I was fortunate enough. I got a PS4. I got it pre-owned. It's like the original launch one. So I didn't get it for a lot of money, right? I have both of these systems sitting next to each other. The Xbox is the one that is on 99% of the time. And, you know, I have games. I have PlayStation Plus and all that good stuff on the PS4. But when it comes down to it, like the online multiplayer and the exclusive games that I got on the Xbox, it just drives me to that platform more.
Agreed.
You know, it's insane to see that, you know, PlayStation had a sparse few years, but during that point in time, it was all about power, right? So now Xbox has one sparse year, and all of a sudden they have absolutely no games, and power is irrelevant now. Absolutely insane, man.
You know, it's interesting because, just to put another spin on this, Microsoft, like, over the years, they've been known for, like, launching something and not sticking with it and abandoning it. I'm getting tongue-tied. Abandoning it. But look, like, for example, look at the Zune, right?
Yep.
Came out.
I love my Zune HD too, man.
Oh no, hey, a lot of people loved it, but they've been known for just, you know, letting stuff die. But they haven't done that with the Xbox. The Xbox has, like, a powerful brand name, regardless of whatever downtimes there are. They believe in it. You see that with recent hirings. Like, they've been staffing up at 343, at Rare, and so on, at other studios internally. Just been taking a little bit of time, but obviously they still believe in the box. They believe in the brand, and obviously the live services too, because that's what's growing. They don't really care about the actual boxes being sold, but they care about, they care, but like the actual engagement through the live services.
There you go.
Yeah. I mean, if you look at, what was it? It grew by, I think, year over year, like 7 million.
Yeah.
If the engagement, like, that's a pretty large chunk of people going online to play, well, not just Fortnite, but all kinds of other games.
Yeah, I agree. And, you know, I absolutely lost my train of thought.
You were going to talk about Albert Pinello leaving right after 18 years.
Yeah, I was going to talk about that. That sucks.
That sucks. Next.
No, I did want to say one thing though. As someone who goes into chats for many podcasts regularly, I will say, Salty, don't feed the trolls. They love it. We thrive on it. And when it comes to the games and everything, you said it best, Invader. It's engagement. A lot of companies nowadays are just looking at engagement. That's what's driving everything. That's why Xbox hasn't gone away. That's why Xbox is not going to go away. It's because people are still engaging with it. People are still going back to it. I mean, Xbox, going back to you and the PlayStation. I had a PlayStation. I bought it for Horizon Zero Dawn, for Neo, for Nier Automata. I played those games. I played The Order 1886, Last of Us. I played those amazing games and I loved them. But, when it comes to my gaming time, I play about 5 to 6 hours. That's being generous a night, overnight. 5 hours of that time is on Xbox when I had it. Because it's just that the infrastructure was there, and a lot of people are just overlooking that. Microsoft is a software company, and they've invested a hell of a lot into its infrastructure, and that's why you don't see it going down, for months at a time. That says something. So it's not going away, man. It's not.
Well, dude, this generation, when it comes down to it, there's always a sway. The narrative always changes. Once Xbox gets an advantage, whether it's power or beginning of this generation, when we had the games coming out like crazy, and on the PlayStation side, it was only Little Big Planet, right? At that point in time, the narrative was about power, and then all of a sudden, the X came out. Everything, the goalpost always sways. Now, like, people are talking more realistic games for Xbox. Where are the realistic games? But yet, when you talk to them, when you get into a conversation with these people about PUBG and Fortnite, they're backing up Fortnite like wholeheartedly. But they want more realistic games. Like, you see what I'm saying? This generation is completely stained with console war and fanboy bullshit all the way through.
That's true. I agree. So we'll move on to the next topic. Fortnite is now the biggest free-to-play console game ever. I want to talk about this because PUBG, I know, is near and dear to two of the people that are on the panel tonight.
Yep.
And PUBG actually came out with a new map, Miramar. So we're going to talk about that. Fortnite is just killing it, man. I know you guys aren't really into it, so we won't really talk about that too much. But I just wanted to let you guys know that where it is on the console. I love the game. I feel like Fortnite is like my go-to now for Battle Royale. It might change because Miramar, I do want to play that. We got to play that together. I just want to get you guys' thoughts on the Miramar desert map. I know, Xbot, you played it. What are your thoughts, man? What do you like? What do you dislike?
This is something really good for PUBG, because like when you think new map, you think kind of like same mechanics, just different environment. That's not what you're getting in Miramar. Like, you have to come up with new strategies. There's like really no grass on the ground. A lot of people like to, like, when they see somebody coming or something like that, you see a car coming, first thing you do is drop to your belly. And in the original map, you got grass all around you. Like the other guys don't even see you. You can't really do that in Miramar. Instead of looking for on your initial drop, you look for certain places on the original map. Now, what I started to see myself doing is I started looking for higher elevations in Miramar. It completely kind of changes your strategy of PUBG. And if they can do this with each separate map, because they're also working on the PC side, they're working on a tropical map as well. If each map can have like their own sets of strategy, it's like having 3 different games. You know what I'm saying? But at the heart, the mechanics that you love, if you love PUBG, this is something I am completely happy with what's going on with this new map. I can't wait for it to actually drop with the game, and I can't wait to see what else they're gonna do, because if they can keep doing that, change, like bring a new map that has like different strategies, the longevity of replay value of this game is absolutely through the roof, man.
Yeah, shout out to Brian Baker. He said PUBG only made Miramar so they don't have to render the trees. Oh,
Mr. Positivity in the chat.
As long as I have some good-looking rocks, I think I'll be fine.
Well, you know,
that's one thing that bugs me. Like the rocks on the ground, sometimes I think they're guns or something, and I run over, like I see, and I'm like, fuck you.
You know what, guys? It's funny because I'm like the only guy who hasn't like bought PUBG, but I keep up with the news and everything. And Xbot, I mean, this looks like a cool map because I mean it's different terrain and it looks like it seems like a more urban map, right? So like more close quarters battles from the looks of it.
When you get into the cities, it's a lot less kind of like grid structure. They really kind of put buildings really close next to each other. Some of them are at like different angles. They made the windows bigger as well, so you can literally see into the other building and stuff, which can really cause like a lot of like close combat within the towns and stuff like that. But then when you get away from the towns, it's like nothing but desert and like hills and rocks. So it changes the gameplay like strategy with moving towards the circle and stuff like that, because you can't just hide in the shadows of all the trees or get low to the grass and stuff like that. People will just spot you from like 100 yards away. All of a sudden you hear pop and you're done.
So it changes the gameplay entirely.
Yeah, it's crazy, dude. It's like a new game, but at the heart of it, it's still PUBG.
That's
if
awesome.
they could do this all the way through, dude, they have something here, man.
Yeah, I think it's underrated, the exclusivity with PUBG. We've heard that it's sold over 5 million copies and all this other stuff. I think that it was a really smart move by Microsoft. We don't know if it's a permanent exclusive. At this point, it doesn't really matter. I think it's exciting that they're adding stuff. I think it's just the way business goes. Fortnite has this certain things, and then it pushes PUBG to make a smaller map, and then add emote wheels and all this other stuff and weapon skins. I think it's good that both of these are going back and forth, because in the end, the gamers win. And I think PUBG, the desert map, is exciting for gamers. I think it's cool that they're getting it out. Native, do you have any thoughts before we move on?
Yeah, just that I tried to join the test server last night, and fortunately I didn't make it, so I didn't get a chance to play it, and pissed off, but I still played PUBG altogether. And I'm really looking forward to it, because what Xbot is saying is if it does change the tactics that much, it just brings a whole new element for me, because I like that slow tactical feel. That's why I gravitated towards games like The Division and Ghost Recon Wildlands, because they implement that, keep it a little stealthy, make sure you have a silencer. I mean, the suppressors are basically gold in PUBG. At least I feel. If I got a suppressor, dude, I'm going ham. I'm going all in. But,
give me a suppressor on an M416 any day.
M416 is my favorite gun in the game, dude.
Yeah, honestly. Or an ump, dude. If you get in close quarters with an ump and a suppressor, no one stands a chance, dude. But Miramar is definitely something I'm looking forward to. I watched Dr. Disrespect stream that a lot, and just the level of frustration that he gets from that. You can tell the difference between his two levels of frustration between the original map and Miramar. So I'm ready for some rage, dude. That's all I can say. I'm ready to rage. I know that's gonna come.
Something else, Native, about the game is about this map is like in the middle of the map, they have some really high like mountain peaks that you can get to as well. So another thing you're looking at as you're trying to like get across the desert, and vehicles don't spawn around every corner and stuff like that. You're watching kind of like the horizon in front of you. You're listening for stuff on the side, but you also have to keep your eyes to the tops of those mountains, because somebody gets an 8 times and they go up there with something powerful, dude, you're done. You're done.
Yeah, you're done. You're done.
It's crazy, man.
Shout out to Shady for for correcting me there. UMP. It's not ump. It's an ump. Damn it.
I call it ump too, man.
But yeah, no, I'm looking forward to it, man. I'm really looking forward to it. So I'm gonna definitely try again tonight to see if I can get on, because it's gonna be a fun time. I know it.
Awesome. All right, well, let's go on to the next topic. This is Xbox. You were talking about Halo and your history with it. Well, there's been some news. Phil Spencer put out a tweet, and it actually has to do with Halo Online. It was a game made for the Russian audience, and basically, Phil came out with this statement and talking about, there's a lot of legal jargon when it comes to this, but I don't know how you pronounce this developer's name, but El Dorito. It sounds like El Dorito, right?
We'll take that, man. El Dorito.
Yeah. They've been working on this custom edition of Halo, but basically what happened is, it's gone unchecked for a while. It's grown. There's been lots of people that play it. Phil Spencer came out and he said basically, and this is a paraphrase. He's just like, hey, we're thankful for all the passion and the time that these guys put into this project, but basically they're shutting the shit down. You know what I'm saying? But where you read between the lines, what Phil said, he's basically saying, hey, we're going to come out with a Halo game on PC. He didn't say specifically what it was. He said classic Halo game. So some people are thinking, the Master Chief Collection. But be it as it is, it's triggered a lot of salt within the community. A lot of people fail to remember that when the first Halo game came out, it was released on PC as well. So it's not something that's new.
Project Monkey Balls.
Yeah. But when it comes to the newer Halos, like Halo 3 or 4 or even Halo 5, none of those have been on PC, to my knowledge. So it's been a while since they've been on PC. But it's interesting to know. I think Phil is kind of prepping a lot of people for the future. I think Halo 6 will be releasing day one on PC as well as Xbox One. What do you think of this situation? I'll start with Xbox, since you're the neighborhood Xbot. What do you think, man? Like, what do you think of this whole situation?
At the end of the day, when it comes to Xbox games going to PC, I could really give two shits, man. I'm a console gamer. I play the game on console. If people want to go on PC and play it on there, go ahead. I really don't care. The only thing that gets me is what we've seen with crossplay so far. We've seen it in Sea of Thieves. We've seen it in Gears. We've seen people, initiating aim bots, doing whatever they can on the PC side to cheat. And I don't know why they would try to cheat when, going up against console, unless they're really insecure about their skills. But I don't want to see that in a game as competitive as Halo. I know Gears is competitive, don't get me wrong, but you got to say the granddaddy, the one that started it all on Xbox in terms of competitive gameplay and stuff like that, is Halo. And they can put their game out wherever they want to put it, make the money, make sure that developers get their money so we get more iterations, down the line, but give us the option to turn crossplay off. That's all I ask. I want to play against console gamers. I don't want to spend my time thinking about, that third person to the left on the other team. He looks like he can't miss a headshot. What's going on over there? Is he a PC gamer? I don't want to have to even think about that when I'm playing my favorite multiplayer. So that's all they got to do. I also think within the tweet that they were talking about with this Halo that was on PC, he said, Phil said something about he looks forward to partnering with the people who made the mod or something like that as well.
Working with them.
So, that's really cool for people who took the Russian version of Halo that was on PC. They were able to mod it out to where people around the world can play it. And instead of like getting that slap on the wrist and going to court for it, Phil's like, I can't wait to work with you guys. That's freaking awesome, man.
Yeah, it is. And Microsoft has a history with that. If you look at Age of Empires, they did the same thing there. A group of dudes got together and they remastered a lot of the content from Age of Empires 1, Age of Empires 2, and they took those people under their wing and they said, all right, cool. We love what you did. We want to optimize it. So here you go. Here's Roby Roby, he's actually one of the executive producers for the definitive edition that just came out, and that's the story that he's telling is, no, these people that modded this game, that remastered it, that gutted it and made it something better and continued it, Microsoft, they work with Microsoft now. They work for Microsoft now in some sort of division. So I love that Microsoft is so open to that. And Xbox as well. It's bleeding into Xbox now. So it makes me want to go out and mod something, but probably won't come out as great. But that's awesome stuff, dude. I agree.
I feel you. If you look at, you know, the creators of PUBG, that started off as a mod, right? So I think they just see the value in that. They see the value in, you know, good quality work, and hey, why not partner up with some of that? Invader, what do you think, man? What do you think about this whole thing?
Well, it's a very interesting situation, especially when Phil, you know, says something about, you know, a classic Halo possibly, you know, coming to the PC. It makes me think that the Master Chief Collection, will make its way to the PC. I mean, really, they've been slowly gearing up for Halo to come to the PC. They did have the Halo 5 Guardians Forge make its way onto the PC, I believe, last year. So I think that this would make sense for it to eventually come to PC. And people act like, oh, you know, Halo's never been on the PC, and Native was right. You know, it has. You know, the custom edition is a very much loved Halo edition that people still play religiously to this day.
That's like saying Halo has never been third person as well, which it started as third person. So.
Yeah, or RTS. Funny enough, but and then I think there's Halo 2 Vista as well. So I mean, Halos, they've been on there. I mean, to me, I'll always be a console gamer at heart. I'll always play my Halo on console. That's where I play. But hey, if people want to play it on the PC, then be my guest. Whatever, just an option.
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is, man. The world, the sky isn't falling. It is what it is. We'll see how it all pans out in the end. But that, unfortunately, is our last topic. I know that it was an awesome time here, and I appreciate everybody in chat. Thanks for the 60 likes. Awesome, be sure to share that out. This was an awesome time. I know the NFL draft is going on right now. A lot of you don't care about it if you're not into sports, and then Avengers Infinity War is coming out, so there's a lot of people doing that.
Oh, I cannot wait to see that movie, man.
I'm actually going tomorrow night. So I've told people on Twitter, I put it out there, if you spoil Infinity War for me, God help your soul, because I will block you into, I'll block you forever. But I just want to get into that movie and have it unspoiled. So I might go off of social media for a while, but it should be exciting.
It's 2 hours and 40 minutes of a geekgasm all the way through.
Hell yeah.
I'm excited, man.
So it's been a blast, dude. I thank you for coming on, Xbot and Invader. I love talking games with you guys. This was awesome. We had some awesome topics, and it was just like shooting the shit with some friends, talking about gaming. This is what it's all about here on the Saltiest podcast. Thank you to everybody in chat. You've been amazing. Shout out to August Media, his first time in chat, and I appreciate him. I've known him for a while. He's a big Halo fan. So yeah, let's get it to our outros, and then you guys can get to gaming. Let's start off with Xbot. Where can people find you?
Yeah, you can find me on YouTube. I do have a small channel. It's called Xbot448. We do a live podcast every Saturday, 7 p.m., complete with gameplay. So as we're talking about the gaming news, you can see everybody on the panel. We submit 10 to 15 minutes of gameplay, and then you can vote for it on Twitter afterwards for whoever had the best gameplay. And you can go and vote for that on my Twitter page. So it's at Xbot448. I am doing the world tour. So I did Xbox Nation yesterday. I did Coffee Casuals and Consoles before that. Tomorrow I will be on Crossfire. Then next podcast on Saturday. And I think BGST is going on Sunday or maybe Monday. Next Gen doesn't tell me until the day. It's gonna go on though. But it is my world tour, and I am having a blast. Salty, rest of the panel, man. It has been a lot of fun. Thanks for having me on again. Yeah.
Yeah, thanks, man. We're like family here, both the Next Podcast and TSP. So make sure you guys check that out every Saturday for sure. It's a blast. Invader, thanks for being on, man. First time guest here. Where can people find you?
Yeah, well, first, thanks for having me on, Salty. You know, it's a pleasure being here. I'm honored. And Native, you know, I've always wanted to talk with you on a cast, so you know, it's been great, buddy. And of course, Xbot. You know, we've talked many times before. It's always great to talk to you. And so you guys can find me on YouTube at Invader Gaming, and as well, hey, a lot of people know me on Twitter at Invader_1986, and I just love talking games, and thanks for everybody coming out in the chat, supporting, and watching this.
Exactly. Native, where can people find you?
You can always find me on Twitter if I'm not blocking you for spoiling Avengers. You can find me there. You can find me on Xbox at Relevant Native. It's the same thing as my Twitter handle. And you can find me here every Thursday at 5:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on the Saltiest podcast. And pretty much damn near every other podcast chat, you'll see me saying some shit.
Yes, sir.
So it's been great. Thank you, Invader. Thank you, Xbot. I love the conversations and the perspectives you guys brought this week. And shout out to Bloody. Get well soon, my friend. Punk, glad you enjoyed it. And Fonz, you're a fraud. So much respect, guys.
My cardboard brother wasn't on, man. Come on, you know?
So yeah, that's gonna do it for episode 33. This is the Saltiest Gaming. Obviously, you're here, and TSP is every Thursday night at 8:30 Eastern. I'll be getting a couple of videos out, hopefully the rest of this week. If you guys missed the podcast live, unfortunate for you, but make sure you hit that like button, share it out to your friends and family on any social platform you deem necessary. And as always, stay salty, my friends.
Salty. Good stuff.